of technology means you need to use the technology for the better of the most, just for the sake. There's a big use, and my whole presentation will actually go on about what it is. So we play a lot with the latest toys. I mean, as you see, we got all of these latest technologies. That's mostly what people hire us for, also to come up with future concepts and the future of healthcare, and the future of smart cities and these kind of things. To give you an example, I mean, some companies also know that. So, for example, we did like this ultra haptics prototype. We did not manufacture that, but they sent it to us because they know we couldn't have it. Actually, the companies, like for example, Microsoft, they sent us a HoloLens 4 months before our regional office had it already. So we got it from the headquarters, and then 4 months later, the regional office had it. So they had it before Microsoft. And then I go like, why is that? It's funny actually, but that is just because they hope that we will actually sell it to some of our clients. So I think this is what we use. But most of that doesn't happen because it's production device or development devices, and that's not ready for prime time. But we do actually. I mean, we like that they do that because it gives us this opportunity to actually see what do we do with it and how can we use this in a better way again. So we try to use technology for this. Another example of that, I was actually talking to about this actually. This was a good example of one of these things. So this is the Vive bracket. The people that already did this is the controllers of Vive. So when this came out, they sent it to us, and the first thing we thought, like instead of the rest of the companies that probably got it, they said like, oh, let's build some content. But we got it in the office, and we said like, well, I don't know, like these brackets. No, yeah, I mean like people, I mean my age people are not even used to a remote control of a PlayStation, let alone that thing. Yeah? Where does that come from suddenly? And then the Oculus comes on the market with even a different control. So we continuously have these problems of these controllers. So instead of actually creating content for it, we first looked at like how can we do this different? What can we do to get rid of that learning curve? Because let's say that you have an event somewhere and you want to have a message brought over to the public. This message is important. Yeah? The technology is not so important. So if you are the first time you get this thing on and you get these controllers in your hands and you need to actually do something with it, your focus will be 100% on how do I use this thing. And you'll have that too, because if you try it, we put like market on there how you teleport with it, but our students have to tell you how to do it, because you won't know. And you're experiencing this, we do it now to experience technology, but when you're on a trade show or whatever, you want actually, your client wants to get this message across. He's not interested in that these guys playing with his stories. He wants to get his message across. But you can't distract him in doing it. So for us, this is a learning curve that we actually don't know. So we started looking at how can we do it differently. So how can we get virtual reality out of the virtual reality? For example, like bringing a window, like this screen that you can turn around, which is a virtual window, it's inside of a virtual space without wearing goggles. Right? That's absolutely. Or this is actually the stand. I have this actually. Yeah, we have this for real, like you find it. But that's actually the demo that we have there with the virtual microscope. It's actually on a stand like this normally. So you don't need to put it on, you look at the stand and you can use your hands on that. And that again allows people to they don't have the control. So if there's a message in there for a client, they can immediately manipulate with their own hands, look, and they'll get involved in the content without being distracted by technology. They also don't need to put this thing on their face per se. You just put it to it. Because a lot of people don't like to mess with their head. I hope nobody does that. I hope you guys were warned today. You're gonna mess up your head. So that's just a small example of how we think basically. And so from all these experiences, like this is for example one of the things that kind of made us a tiny little bit famous in the world at that time was basically this was Xbox Connect came out in what year was that? 2006 or somewhere like that. The first thing we did is we hacked Xbox Connect because we thought like that's an interesting device. But Microsoft did not have an SDK, we could not program on it. So we said like, we'll just hack it. So we hacked this, and within a month time, we had an installation, and we had the biggest interactive video wall in the world. So the video was running at that time 1.5K times HD, which was really super, pretty high, but it was actually tracking people that walked past it, and you could scrub the video depending on where you were going. A month later, obviously, Adobe in the United States, New York, made a video wall. There was a bit of a contest going on, but we had our own thing at that time. But again, it's like this is how far we actually go with the technology. So we are very technology-minded, but this presentation is not about, technology. It's actually about using technology for the sake of it. Not for the sake of it, but actually for a certain purpose. So if you go to this equation that I came up with, I've got a very nice drawing of myself. Basically, this is what it's done. What was the how is the experience? Right? So, in my opinion, what makes it is, in my opinion, everybody's good. If you're going to discuss this, please come after the presentation. So, it basically to make memorable experience, user experience, there's a lot of clarity. But to the core, it is that. So, what was the how is an experience? The what meaning like the content, the how meaning like the medium could be a TV, could be virtual. Doesn't need to be digital, by the way. Could be I'm just telling you this. So, but it is this combination that actually is experience. If one of these parameters is faulty, you get a bad user experience. All of you people from the event industry, you don't want bad user experience. Marketing guys, the same industry, right? Bad, the brand is everything. You do not want bad user experience. Because we're living more and more in a digital world, and all the keys of digital is really of the utmost importance. So when a message or the story is bad, no matter how you actually convey it, it will not stick. When the wrong medium is chosen, or it's just badly used, the message will not stick. That's my statement. So I'll go in and analyze it. Because in a lot of cases, it's because of that. Either the wrong technology is used, or technology is used wrong. Me saying that again. You can see that. Who is this guy actually? So let me give you an example of that, because there's a small nuisance between these two. So illustrate the difference. Yeah? This is using the wrong technology. So a couple of years ago, we got a call from a company in United Arab Emirates, and they hired a French agency to install the installation in a mall, and it was using Kinect. So these guys came with this very cool concept. It was all nice, whatever, and they installed it the night before. It all worked. In the morning, these guys went on a plane back to France, and it didn't work. So people stepped in front of this Kinect, it didn't do anything. We jumped a bit from here to there, not very happy. So they called us because they saw, they probably Googled, they saw like, YouTube interactive stuff, they saw Kinect somewhere. So they called our office, and they said like, okay, we have a problem, we think the Kinect is broken. So I was like, look, nothing to do with it, but as by chance, we have something also going on in that same area. So I called one of my guys, like, go and have a look, see what's going on. We need to replace it. So they arrived at the location there, and the Kinect wasn't broken at all. But it's a mall, it had this big atrium full with glass, the sun was shining right on it. Yeah? So Kinect uses infrared light. The sun is a way brighter infrared light than this Kinect can So what happens is that if you put a Kinect or one of these touch tables that they also might also use in the past, or anything that works infrared in front of a window, it won't work. So these guys did not think about the environment. So they actually have this whole conversation, this client with them, a whole experience, whatever, to actually install it in an environment that was not made for it. Right? So that's a typical example of using a wrong technology. So the technology by itself was wrong, but it was working, but no, because they picked the wrong technology for that environment. An example of using a technology wrong is for example, is this. So many people, I don't know actually how this is in Singapore, but in Dubai, which is very competitive, I always say, there's this super demand for holograms. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people, and I don't know, how many of you had a client ask for a hologram? Only one person? Come on, you can get it to your hologram. Nobody asked for a hologram? That's weird. So there is business. Well, in Dubai, there's like, every week a call, it's like, I want hologram. You want hologram? So what do you want to use the hologram for? I sell shoes. Okay, that's what. So what you want, like the holographic insurance guys selling shoes? People are going to love that. They can't stand the real guy because it's kind of almost virtual. I mean, no, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Right? But so there's certain companies that actually, this was actually a shot I took last year of Gardens, which is this very big electronics exhibition in Dubai. And so they went ahead to the client, pushed forward and said like, oh, now the hologram. It's like, fine, if you want a hologram, we'll go to your a hologram in itself is not a 3D projection. It is a flat 2D projection. A real hologram, you only find a real hologram on your credit cards. You know, you've got like these small, golden or silverish thing that moves. That's a real hologram. That's actually real. But all the other holograms that we see, that Michael Jackson on stage, all this kind, is actually a 2D projection on a transparent foil. So that's actually what happens here. There's a transparent foil. You can actually see a small line here. There's a small line. There's a projection that actually from the screen below mirrors there, or the projection from the back. Mirrors on projected on this semi-transparent foil, and that actually makes it look like it's a mirage, let's say, like in the desert. You need for water to see that. But one of the things that actually makes it look like 3D is the depth behind it. Right? So what these guys did is they actually put it on a black background. That doesn't create depth at all. So nobody that has actually, and I was funny because I went twice to this stand before actually somebody told me there was a hologram, then I went back to see this. It wasn't small either, but it looked like a regular TV set because they had it like in this frame. It was actually something that you had to stay 2 meters away from it because if you would come too close, you would see that it's not real, or the effect completely goes. So because there's no depth behind it, the illusion doesn't work. So they actually, and also the fact that basically this character that's supposed to be a hologram and a real character is about that size, because small midget that was held by the illusion, obviously. So the small midget floating meet there, the black background, not a good thing. So that basically is an example of using the technology in the wrong way. That just happens a lot because I don't know. I think you need to speak your ground. Some clients is like, okay, we want this. No, that's not a good idea. Because it doesn't work in the environment, or because your message doesn't go out there. Don't start selling insurances on a hologram. So that's this thing. So the story of the comment was also boring. So it's really, it doesn't even matter if you use the technology wrong. If you comment anything is bad, it's really a miserable fail. This, for example, is how holograms are done correctly. So this is basically on the big stage, which has a lot of depth behind it. Actors that walk in front, behind, before and behind the screen and stuff like that. And then you create it, and then you have a good hologram. So one of the, why am I actually explaining all this? It's all about these experiences, because one of the problems with this whole thing is that if companies create these wrong experiences, or they use the wrong technology or technology wrong, then the public basically gets an appreciation of this, right? So if you as a person go there and you see this hologram for the first time and you think like, man, that's shit. Yeah? Next time when somebody will say like, oh, there's a hologram, you won't even be interested in going. So by doing that, these companies create a bad user experience, which not only damages the brand, but it also damages the technology further on in the industry. And that's really a problem. That's actually my problem, because we deal with new technologies, and if that happens, we have to fight fight. I mean, that actually happens. I mean, I was speaking at the Leeds Festival a couple of weeks ago, and there was a guy from an advertising agency. He said, I just came back from London, and I had to fight for somebody to actually sign up on a virtual reality experience. And I was like, oh, that's all. And I said, no, because they actually did a virtual reality experience before, and they hated it. But it was probably the wrong product. And now we have such a good concept and a good product, it needs to be virtual reality, and they didn't want to sign up. Same thing again. So they had some bad experience. The technology was classified as like, forget it. So it is very important to do that, to make sure that you do it. Another good example of this, and that's actually, I've been carrying this example around now for about 10 years, is wayfinding. Does anybody have anything to do with wayfinding in this group? I don't know if they actually use it in Singapore in some like a curiosity with the digital wayfinding system. So 10 years ago, well actually it's more than 12 years ago, we had a request for a wayfinding system. At that time, we were still in the phase that we were doing stuff in Adobe Flash and stuff like that. This video is just showing you a bunch of different systems. But it's basically one of the we've seen so many of these devices or these systems combined now. But when we actually got this request 11 years ago, we said like, okay, but how does it really work? Right? Why would you have a digital wayfinding? So we went to a mall that actually asked us to mall, and we put cameras on one of these regular signboards they have with like the floor plan on how to do it. And we monitored this for 24 hours, and later on we analyzed the data. And we saw that all people that actually come in, first thing they do is they walk to the other side, because it was in the UAE, and on one side is Arabic and the other one is English. Right? So they walk to the other side because they can't speak that. That's one thing. But then after that, when you look at one of these maps, and you find the store where you have to go, the first thing everybody does is this. Where is that food? Reason being, because you need to orientate yourself. If you look at this map, and it's not oriented the way that we do. So actually, we came from our study, we came to the conclusion that the right way to implement any of these maps is actually to just move it in the correct direction. And that does not necessarily need to be a digital map. You can just do that. But if you have your installation there, move the map that the people that are facing are facing in the same direction. And put an arrow there, you're facing in the same direction. That will help people. People are not stupid. And that's one of the things that a lot of people, what they're doing is like, oh, I need to go there, and it starts drawing a path, how to get there. Seriously, after 2 seconds, everybody's lost. Right? You can't remember that. But you can remember if you're facing the same direction, you go like, oh, the next left, and then somewhere in that hallway. Easy. But not all this fancy stuff. And the funny thing is that a lot of the software is very difficult to program, like wayfinding these paths, that's very expensive because all the work to program. Well, what we suggested was very simple. And it's way more effective also. But the funny thing is nobody really picked this up. And now, still after 10 years, I made this presentation about this technology. Well, I was looking for this, and I found a whole, and I was looking for one installation that actually on the market that has a parameter that moves the map in 3D space, like a 2D map in 3D space, moves it in the direction that you're facing. Well, I couldn't find one on that does. And I was really amazed, because I thought actually that we influenced the market that time, but apparently we don't. So, but that's another of these examples that, how you don't always find the right solution, and how also, a bad decision can be made also. Because people keep doing this bad stuff because they keep installing the wrong wayfinding system. And then when another mall sees this, they go like, yeah, but it doesn't really work, nobody uses it because it's shit. Well, yeah, obviously, because you're not doing it correctly. Right? If you do it correctly, suddenly all the malls will see it. It's like, oh, let's all do this because people are actually using it. So again, this is actually going on for 10 years. It's really, really example of long-term effect. So the next thing I want to, so we talked a bit about how it's important to use white technology and stuff. But what I actually want to explain too is, my equation is actually, how do you get to the experience? The experience is actually the wow factor. And I'm sure that a lot of you heard about that. I'm going to ask you, how many people had a client saying like, I need this wow effect or wow factor? you. You haven't been long enough in this industry. So basically, the wow, everybody wants like wow, they want to wow people. Whether it's with a new technology, or you want to wow. How do you do that? But and a lot of people think it's because of technology, but it's not. Yeah, it's different parameters, and you need to have the right combination to make sure that it creates wow. But I want to go a bit deeper and analyze this whole thing. So, what is exactly this wow effect? Because what are people talking about when they say about, what is wow? What are the origins of wow? So, I get a bit anal sometimes, so I started Googling, and I was like, where is wow? Where does it come from? After a lot of World of Warcraft, which has nothing to do with it. I came to this guy called Tom Peters, and he wrote in 1994 basically something about the wow effect, which had something to do with economics, it was not that hard. And then I found a study from the University of Pennsylvania. I'm going to give you a quote. It is the wow is the life-changing power of experiencing profound awe. I like that word, awe. Because it's a very nice word, because actually that's what people actually do, right? They go, oh. So I like that better than wow, actually, but try and say wow. So actually these guys did this whole research about it. They researched a lot of subjects, and apparently the best all that you can experience in your life, and listen carefully now, is as an astronaut. Isn't that a shame? Because I'm pretty sure there's no astronauts here. I'm either. So yeah, apparently, so they went through all these subjects, and apparently astronauts, they are calling it, they have this overwhelming emotion, sense of wonder, and feelings of being sympathetic with all humankind. It's like very poetic, right? It seems to occur, it only occurs when astronauts, when they are in orbit the first time and they see the Earth from afar. Then apparently they experience the highest level of awe that you can experience in this world. I thought it was a very interesting research thing. They coined a name for it. It's called the overview effect. Apparently, if you have that overview effect, suddenly you feel like you're Jesus. So, but it kind of illustrates. I mean, what you get is it illustrates that. I mean, it's very right to assume that if a person has this awe or a wow experience, and it is in relationship with a certain brand, yeah, that it's very positive, right? Because he emotionally experiences something, so he attaches to the brand. So it changes his or her view about, for astronauts, about the world, for us tiny people, about a certain brand. So they obviously clients have a point of asking for this wow because it actually works. But I'm always asking myself, like, do they actually realize why they're asking for it? I think they actually most ask it because that's what they remember themselves from their own experience that were awful. So it's the magic that it brings, when all these parameters come together and create this kind of experience that you have this magic in your head that goes like, oh, that's super good, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life. Actually, yesterday we were at Singtel. Does anybody work at Singtel? Yesterday we were at Singtel's office, and they actually were also struggling with this. And they had some good ideas. They had one which was actually a robot that was actually balancing a ball on a wooden board. And I thought it was a very good idea. Because I remembered that. I was like, that's a good idea. I remember that. The problem with it was a bit like the context that they placed it. I didn't remember, I can't remember now actually what was it about. So, and that's exactly what I'm trying to, where we need to get that with my equation of, hey, so what was the how? Oh, you still remember. You're a better student than maybe you should come here. So basically, about this magic, and that's the funny thing. Actually, again, I started researching it, and I came to actually this stuff, because actually this reaction of awe, this experience, this emotional vibe in your brain is actually pure chemical reactions. We are actually pure-based water and chemical reactions inside. And there's this organic chemical called dopamine. Anybody heard of that? Okay. Well, so that's what you get actually, and I'm sure the people that are in the marketing industry, they'll know this because if you talk about brand experience, it comes up a lot. But basically, to make it simple, when you buy a pair of shoes, for example, you get this dopamine shot in your head to say like, hey, I'm happy I bought a pair of shoes. But it's not only shoes anymore, it's also when you have sex. Oh, sure, it's dopamine, right? But when you get a like on Facebook, again, people when you get a push notification, when you hear your phone go, old sound for Facebook. This kind of stuff. And you hear that sound, you're like, oh, dopamine, dopamine. So it's not only like this rewarding system, but it's also a motivational system. So it actually works like as an addiction. So the motivation to check your phone every minute, right? The motivation to take a better selfie, that kind of stuff. It kind of keeps you driving to relive that experience, or to relive that certain awe. So that you want to have that awe, that wow feeling. So it's very, very important that you have the right, awe moments that triggers this dopamine shot in the right relation, because it's very dangerous to rely on just like one part to say maybe you'll just take your technology for this awe moment. Like, oh, here is a HoloLens. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yes, but which brand is it from? I have no idea. Right? So the problem with this illustration actually is literally what I want to say. I'm actually saying like, what if this backfires? Right? What if you actually create this awe thing and you get this dopamine shot, but it's like oh. It's not like oh, like oh. Right? That kind of awe. There you're kind of destroying your brain. Right? And you should definitely, by all means, you want to get rid of that. That's definitely not good. So you can have like, what if the technology is not good? Or what if the message is not good? Or what if the message was actually there, but then the match did not happen? And so you see there's a lot of parameters to get to this equation. And that actually brings me to the importance of some of the parameters. So the what, the how. So technology is dangerous. Well, the message is also dangerous. And the message is very important. If you don't know what you're going to communicate, how would you find out how to communicate? Right? So there's this guy, we have to do together, a bit of a conspiracy theory. It's called Marshall McLuhan. 64, and he coined this term. He did a lot of research. Some people in the marketing world might know this. But he coined this term. He actually made this whole piece about a lot of research. But he said that actually the medium, so the way that you communicate, is the message. Yeah, you say this, the medium. So he basically explains what is being said throughout history and what has been communicated is as important. Right? The medium is as important as well. I'll try to illustrate that with something very simple, like example YouTube. Right? So what do you think is more expensive? What is more important? Is it all the content and every video on YouTube, or is it YouTube itself? Right? Or is it actually streaming video? Right? The same is like, what's more important? Is it all the conversations you ever have on your phone, or is it your phone itself? Right? Or is it the way your phone allows you to interact with the rest of the world? So the phone is medium. Your communication is actually. What is the most important? What is the most profound? Has the most profound effect on society? That's what he was actually, researching. And again, that shows that it's not the power of technology that overtakes the power of business. No, it is actually, because we can't really make up your mind. Nobody will made up his mind what's more important. Because No, no. Right. So the packaging of the message is as important as the message itself. This guy, so coming back to my equation, basically, yeah. So okay, so we talked about this, and we see like this is the same thing, right? So it's very, very important. You pick the right message and you make everything good, so you can decide the right technology, and don't go first with technology without messaging. It's a very intricate relationship there. And then you get right to the experience. Yeah? But why is the experience at this time? Because there's another part. Why is it so important now? Why are people, addicted to these dopamine shots in their head? And that's actually from a guy, another person actually did some research about it. It's called Joe Pine, and he's actually the guy that invented the experience economy. And that's actually, I hope that some of you marketing people already heard about that, because that's very important now. We are living in an experience economy. So any experience you get, whether it's through technology or through just having a swim in the morning lake, whatever, is an experience. Right? And we are getting addicted to that. We live in an experience. And I'll explain with this coffee example. In the early 1900s, right, or 1800s, we were trading coffee beans. Right? It was a commodity. That's where we got. Then the next step was that suddenly somebody started to actually grind stuff and actually put it in packages, right? And we became a poly-based. Poly-based coffee, but then again we started as a human being, we started commoditizing stuff again. Right? So like in the stock market. So we actually became a service coffee, where we actually paid extra, not just for the bag and the grind, but actually for some barista making our coffee. For a coffee machine actually doing it for us. But then again, we started to commoditize it. And what happened now, this is what we are paying for now. We are paying Starbucks. I don't know how much Starbucks coffee is. I don't drink coffee actually. But we are paying way more for the experience of just getting our coffee in this nice looking Starbucks cafe than we are actually for this barista making this package of beans. And that's actually what it is. It's the same example. It's like if you go to a plaza in Italy and you go and there's like, or in Venice, you sit like there, and you have a coffee there, it's around plaza, you will probably pay like 10 euros for the same cup of coffee that you pay, behind the corner somewhere in a small alley, maybe 2 euros. And it's just because of the experience, because you have this view on this nice looking plaza. That's the only reason. So it's very important that our experience are correct. Without a good experience, it won't really work. So next to the experience, it also needs to have an experience versus memory. There's also, because I said at the beginning, we're talking about a memorable experience. An experience also needs to be memorable. And I didn't know that actually until a year ago. I spoke to a guy in the US, and he was a professor, and they did research for their government. And he said, like, look, his whole experience, we're talking about that, and he said, like, a person actually, or a human being, has two self-beings. We have an experiencing self, and we have a memory. And it's also important as a marketer or as a businessman or whatever, that you understand that when you are creating an experience. Certain experiences come in a story or a message you want to tell. In a way that you actually want to have an experience, some that you want to have in the memory. But to explain the difference between these remembering itself and the experience itself, they did this research over 600,000 people. That's a lot, 600,000. And they gave people actually different things. Like, for example, one of the tests was actually, they let them listen to a 3-minute classical musical performance, right? And at the end of the classical music performance, it would have like this microphone feedback. So half of them they did, half of them they didn't. So you could see the results afterwards from these people, because when they asked all of these people that actually, did you enjoy this? During the concert, they would say, this is like the best musical performance I've ever heard. But then the people that ended with this feedback noise, they said afterwards, bam, that feedback at you ruined the whole experience. Well, in theory, it didn't, right? Because while he was, the experience was good, but his memory was good. So that's the remembering and the experience itself. So, I mean, what we learn from that is that the story, the ending of the story is important. So that's the message. The message is important. Will create better memory when you have a better story. Another example, for example, is let's say that you can choose 1 week of holidays or 2 weeks of holidays. What is the best one? Okay, who thinks 1 week of holidays is better than 2 weeks of holidays? Okay, who thinks 2 weeks of holidays? Well, now think about what is the best holiday you've ever had. Yeah, try to memorize. And then compare it with the longest holiday you've ever had. Who's got the same holiday? But in a lot of cases, that's not true. Again, because duration has nothing to do with it, right? It's your memory. Your memory is way more important because it was one holiday, it should have been way shorter. But actually, it was full with stuff that happened to you. Kissed your first girlfriend, and you know, stuff like that. And you'll remember that for the rest of your life. And it's like, this was like the best holiday I ever had. So again, that's a better memory, right? So again, there's a storytelling that counts. The story has a lot of captivating users. When you go to a movie and it's a boring movie, you won't remember it. Right? But if it's a movie that's full with all these ups and downs in the story and surprise ending and stuff like that, you'll remember it. So you need to have that stuff built in your message. If you have that in your message, people will listen. And the only thing you need to do is actually, pick out the right thing. So, why am I explaining all of this stuff? Yeah, okay, so we have like the memorable and the message important and the acknowledgement, but now we keep on elaborating why actually, right? So it's basically because we're trying to create a formula for how to create a good experience. Right? And if you tie it back to all the VR and AR we're seeing here now, why does this fit into this whole story? It's because it's the same question. Because we keep getting this question like, do we need to use virtual reality? Do we need to use AR? Well, I don't know. I can only show you what is on the market. But it's up to you guys to create, or to the clients, to create a message that fits this technology. Not the other way around. You cannot say like, oh, let's do something with VR. And then, okay, what you want to do is, oh, we'll see. No, that doesn't work. Because you'll end up taking something and pushing it in something technology. That's not right. In the end, the result will be that people have a bad experience. And as we just saw, you can't tell that, right? It's against all economics and everything now. It's not just cloud. It's actually economically proven. So, in the years that we've been thinking about, that we're trying to build this better use technology, we came up with this formula, because it's like this one. So this is the formula. I call it the triple E method. The triple E method basically replaces, if you have like the what and the how is the experience, it replaces the storytelling. Storytelling is the formula, the result is which technology you are using. So the triple E method starts with the first one, which is engage. Okay? This is the most dangerous one of all. Mind again, engage. Because how would you engage? Would you assume that bringing in virtual reality is a good engagement? To get people engaged, it's like, oh, I want to try this, right? You all agree, right? That's a good engagement. Virtual reality, people want to try virtual reality, see my God. You all agree, right? So, but the technology should not define that, because as I said, I mean, what we've seen in the last 20 years is actually that, if you just take a technology for the sake of technology, you might fail, because it's not only that, the engagement, but it's a lazy way to get engagement. It's an easy way. People are hyped, oh, new technology, dopamine shot, oops, yeah, check out. Well, no, because, like in the beginning, then they start messing around with these remotes of these Vive, and then they get out, and then you go like, oh yeah, it was difficult, but yeah, experience is new thing. So which brand was that? What was the message? I have no clue. better. So engagement is very important. So each content that you create needs to have engagement in it. So you look at a story, you build a story, you have to engage. The next thing is you need to educate, the second thing. Educate. Of course, your content needs to have the right stuff in there that you will actually get your message across. The third thing is entertain. And that's actually something that the movie industry knows very well. And that's why I said before a movie, no one will know. So the entertainment level is important. Any type of experience you do, virtual, yes or no, it needs to have entertainment level. If it doesn't, it's not real. It won't stick. It won't work. And you can engage with your audience in different ways. You can educate in different ways. And you can create that entertainment match in different ways. But the combination of these three, if you make content for that, then when you have these three, then you can say like, oh, and now which medium are you going to use to create that? So you first look at this stuff, you create your content, and then you see like, oh, maybe we should use virtual reality, or augmented reality, or reverse augmented reality, or depending on what we do, because maybe you have this fantastic educational story, and it's pretty entertaining, but you have like no engagement whatsoever. Well, put it in this reverse AR, because people will come and play with it, and they'll learn from it, right? So you can place the technology part in one of these parameters where you think you will be used. So you should use the technology for the reason that it's there, not just for the sake of using it. So what I basically also what I want to say with this whole thing is that it's very important to follow the right steps so you can actually have the right decision making. Which technology works in what environment, for what audience. And of course, the more information you have and the more knowledge you have about technologies, the more open-minded you can be to all the different possibilities and create new experiences in these things. And a new experience is always good because people like new experiences. So that's why I was talking to some of you your question. It's also the same thing. It's like virtual reality. Okay, there's these goggles, but there's way different ways than just virtual reality. Like the window that I showed earlier, where you can just turn around. Because it brings new technology, new devices that we can maybe use in different ways nobody thought about, that will actually entice and be a part of this whole experience that people will enjoy. This was a small movie of our office, basically, just to show you, like we're very open, our door is open. You take a contact, if you actually want to give us a call, because we are happy to actually guide you in what technology to choose. Then to actually just go out, by yourself, say like, okay, I see this, you're going to push that to the client without actually knowing it's the one to do. So, first of all, in the house, very important. I have actually this next slide, but maybe we should do the other part. I want to show this demo as well. So I've got this other demo that, one of the things that after this presentation what I want to do is actually show you how we can use this technology, how we can build on that to create something new that hasn't been done before. And we made this demo application which shows you what the missing link is in real augmented reality. Well, let me first go the other thing, then I'll show you what real augmented reality is.